Hey guys, my name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Forgotten Race review. Today we're diving right back into the Blood of the Sea. By request, we're reviewing the Adaros, first appearing in Pathfinder's Bestiary 3 and returning to us, much like all the other aquatic races we've covered, in Blood of the Sea. If there are any other races you guys want to see covered, feel free to throw it in the comments, throw it on one of my social media platforms. I don't care what book it's out of, I don't care if it's third party. If you guys want to see it, we'll bring it to you. Before we get started though, two announcements. First off, today starts this channel's second giveaway, where we are giving away not one, but 2 copies of Divinity Original Sin 2. One lucky person's gonna win 2 copies, one for themselves and one for their friends. This is probably one of the best isometric RPGs I've played in a long time, and that's mostly for the co-op aspect. So if you and one of your friends want a free game that even the most potato computer can run, and is also released on PS4 and Xbox One, and of course you do because free games, the link is in the description. Second announcement, starting tonight, I'll be streaming with the Inn of PLANAR CROSSROADS. Adam's a wonderful guy. He's probably one of the nicest people on the internet I've met since starting this channel. He's running a Rise of the Runelords game. He's running the first Starfinder adventure path. He's got a lot of really good content on his channel. Go check it out. Next Monday, we'll be bringing his crew over here for a sort of open forum discussion. Anyway, let's dive in. The Adaro of planet Earth is a benevolent mermaid man-like sea spirit from the mythology of the Solomon Islands. They're a unique creature that lived in the Pacific Ocean. They're very dangerous and said to arise from the wicked part of a person's spirit. In mythology, they are described as a man with gills behind their ears, tail fins for feet, a horn like a shark's dorsal fin, and a swordfish or sawfish like spear growing out of its head. These guys are said to live in the sun and travel to and from Earth by sliding along rainbows. Unlike the renowned merman, they're dangerous to humans and can kill them by, get this, traveling along rainbows and shooting them with poisonous living fish. Paizo's Adaros are frightful creatures with the upper bodies of muscular humanoids and the lower bodies of sleek sharks. Keeping with the shark theme, these guys also have enormous jaws full of razor-sharp teeth and have a dorsal fin, like a shark's, running along their head. These guys are nomadic predators, and they travel in packs through tropical waters, hunting with poisoned spears and then devouring their victims raw. These guys also have a strange relationship with storms, and it intrigues the scholars of the Pathfinder world it has for centuries. These guys have a special connection to the deadly creatures of the water and the wildness of foul weather, and it's no coincidence that these guys will attack more during rough seas, during storms. Anytime the rest of us are at a disadvantage on the water, these guys are doing great. So let's get down to the stats of these big guys. We've talked about tipping the RP scale before. This time, we're going way off the deep end, as an Adaro sits squarely at 32 RP, well into the monstrous category. As we've seen throughout Blood of the Sea, a lot of the more monstrous creatures, quote-unquote, too powerful to be a player character, need that extra RP to be functional both outside of the water and from a flavor aspect in the water from which they come. 32 RP is a huge number, but let's see if we can chop it down a little bit. Adaro receive a +2 to each of their physical stats, that's strength, dexterity, and constitution, with only a -2 intelligence in return. These guys are described as being terrifying physically, but their rampant bloodlust hampers their ability to brain good. They're monstrous humanoids with the aquatic subtype, size category medium, and they possess blind sense with a range of 30 feet, as well as dark vision out to 60. An Adaro can detect creatures by scent in a 180-foot radius underwater, and can detect blood in the water at ranges of up to a mile. Adaro also have a +2 natural armor bonus, low light vision, as well as the classic thing we see on most of our player races from the water, a base speed of 10 feet. However, Adaro do have a swim speed of 50 feet. Adaro have a bite attack that deals 1d6 points of damage, as well as a fun little ability called Rain Frenzy. Adaros revere storms, and their lust for blood is amplified exponentially when it is raining. When fighting in the rain or during other stormy weather, Adaros act as though affected by the Rage spell, giving them a +2 morale bonus to strength and constitution, a +1 morale bonus on will saves, and a -2 penalty to their armor class, which is offset by their natural armor. Essentially just a free barbarian rage anytime it's raiding. An Adaro gains this benefit even if it is underwater, but only as long as it remains within its swim speed of the water's surface. Adaros are amphibious, which means though they have the aquatic subtype, they can breathe both water and air, though things like, for example, Tritons are described in their lore as being honorable creatures that are often called upon by human settlements that we assume are above the water to settle disputes and stuff. If by that logic we assume that a Triton and a Sahuagin both cannot breathe outside of the water, they become much worse, and in the case of the Sahuagin, who has lots of RPs in his point build, he becomes simultaneously more fair and more unplayable. In this one's humble opinion, that only pushes the envelope a little farther forward in the case of the player who wants to play the Sahuagin, because that is a pretty major hamper that player has to overcome. But let's get back to what we were talking about, shall we? Adaros have poison use, which means they never risk accidentally poisoning themselves when applying poison to weapons. They can also speak with sharks just like a Sahuagin out to 100 feet telepathically. They begin play speaking Aquan and Common, and with high intelligence can choose from the following list. If you'd like to use this list, go for it. Again, we all know how I feel about this one. Okay, so let's see if we can take 32 RP down to playable here. Looking at his entry, the first thing I see that an Adaro cannot use if he's not underwater is his keen scent. There's specific language in that entry that says he can only use it underwater, so there's 2 RP gone right there. Outside of the water, his swim speed means nothing, and his slow speed only hampers him. And again, the ability to speak with sharks is only as useful as there are sharks in the region. The Adaro has paid 4 RP, 2 RP for swim, and taking Powerful Swimmer twice to get his swim speed from 30 up to 50. Chop off those 4 points and the 1 point from Speak with Sharks, and we're at 25. We're going to assume that the slow speed is already calculated here, so the only thing we're really left with here that's new is his Rain Frenzy special ability at 4 RP. This is a strong ability, and a free rage as long as it's raining is great. However, unless the player is specifically building around it with something like a druid who's going to cast Control Weather all the time, which is a high level spell anyway, it's not always going to be raining, and even if it is, the language of Rain Frenzy says it only functions if he's out in the storm or underwater within his swim speed, usually 50 feet, of the water's surface. If we take this very strictly, we assume that if our Adaro is in some dungeon somewhere, or even in somebody's house, and it's raining outside, he will not gain the benefit. And again, since it's only going to rain some of the time, this, although being a flavorful and powerful ability, is only going to happen sometimes, and in some games may never happen at all. So as far as I'm concerned, we can chop that 4 RP off, and now we're looking at a grand total of 21 RP. Yes, this tips us into Monstrous, but it only tips us into Monstrous slightly, and again, a speed of 10 feet means we're charging as fast as the guy in full plate is moving in a move action. We're not going anywhere fast. And outside of the water, this guy is perfectly reasonable to be played as a player character. I say go for it. But of course, this is just the opinion of one man. What do you guys think about the Adaro? Would you play them in your campaigns? Would you allow them to be PCs? Let me know all about it in the comments below. We'll keep the conversation going. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next race review drops next Monday.